I would like to deal with this very question. And you mentioned a moment ago, you cited part of your reasons for your judgment on Northwest Hydraulics. Now, this discussion that you and I have just been having about whether or not known techniques could be used in order to advance technology and whether that would preclude a taxpayer from making a claim may well be addressed in this portion of your reasons for your judgment. Now, I have a very curious question for you. The initial part of your reason for this decision, you said, I shouldn't have thought it was necessary to say so. So I suppose I'm reading between the lines, and I've often been curious about this, but would that suggest, it seems to suggest surprise, that there's a need to say so. When you say I shouldn't have thought it necessary, so would you say that in the case of Northwest Hydraulics, that there may have been some of that, CRA may not have been accepting the infinitesimal increase? It might have been that they were trivializing, CRA was trivializing the advancements that were made?
I don't know whether I was doing that or not, because I don't think that the advancement in Northwest Hydraulics was necessarily trivial.
No.
They were significant advances.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, some of the issues in Northwest Hydraulics may, involve things such as, sedimentation, erosion of soil, there was turbidity. Arguably, it was an ancient science. They had dams in Egypt.
Yes. So
to the extent that the techniques that were used might have been new, and for certain were new, and of course novelty isn't really the question, I would ask you that was it more the resultant knowledge than the actual techniques that was performed that would have constituted an advancement in your opinion?
It might have. Indeed, I would say that we look at the result in determining whether there is a scientific research. Doesn't necessarily mean that everything has to be routine in the methods used.
Fair enough. So I think we've now, this whole subject is highly complicated. There's many, many subtleties. And the fact that, through your decision, you have provided the clarity. There was an absence in the law as far as direction, which, for taxpayers and for CRA alike to be able to adjudicate claims. And I think this term is interesting, the one you used. I'm not sure why you chose that term infinitesimal. What was behind your thinking when you chose to use that term to describe it?
I don't know, it's a big word, isn't it?
It is a big word.
But all I'm saying is that there does not need to be a dramatic increase in knowledge or a dramatic result. It could be quite a small result, but nonetheless it is still involves scientific research.
Yeah. So in terms of the term infinitesimal, in mathematics it means a number that's more than 0 and less than 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. In the vernacular, it just means a very small amount. So really what we're talking about is defining the quantum of knowledge that's necessary to achieve or to acquire in order to be considered an advancement.
Well, that's what I said there. Most scientific research involves gradual, indeed infinitesimal progress. Spectacular breakthroughs are rare and make up a very small part.
So how would you deal with a CRA auditor that fails to recognize this small infinitesimal progress and saying, well, look, this is nothing groundbreaking, this is nothing profoundly different, it's essentially the same. Well, essentially the same, albeit true, doesn't necessarily allow for an infinitesimal progress. How would you deal with a CRA auditor, say a research technology advisor, who was not open to reason on this matter?
File an objection and appeal.
There you have it. That's why we're here.